Welcome to Animal Tales TV, the show about Oklahoma City animals and the people who love them. My name is Julie Bank, and I'm the Superintendent of Animal Welfare for the City of Oklahoma City. And with me is my co-host, Molly. Now, Molly here is a little bit of a ragamuffin who needs some grooming, but once she's groomed, she's going to be this beautiful terrier mix. Came in as a stray. We're hoping to find her people, but if we don't, she'll be up for adoption real soon. So we have so much to share with you today. First, we're going to have Dr. Otto to talk to us about a prison dog program that's helping offenders be softer people. We're also going to talk to you about the Kids for OKC Animals program, which is a really great way for kids under the age of 18 to get involved in making a difference in their community. And of course, in the summer heat, we're going to bring you some hot weather tips. So before we start the show, we're going to show you some animal welfare success stories.
Did you know that the arts make a significant impact on education, the economy, and our quality of life in Oklahoma, providing more than 10,000 jobs statewide, filtering more than $314 million into our economy? Yes, the arts create all kinds of beautiful things. And making Oklahoma an even better place to live is the most beautiful thing of all. It doesn't take a big donation to make big things happen. Support Allied Arts today. A little give is all it takes.
So for our first guest, we have Dr. John Otto, a veterinarian in town, to share with us about the Friends of Folks program. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Dr. Otto, you've been around for a long time in this community. Tell us just quickly, quickly about yourself and how you got yourself involved in this program.
Well, it's kind of indirectly through the shelter. I do a lot of animal shelter work, and I've done that in Norman for many years. And from that, a good friend of mine helped start the program down in Lexington, the prison dog program. That's what we're talking about. And they take animals from shelters, and just like the Oklahoma City shelter, and then the inmates train them, and then they become pets for people who are like widowed or need a companion pet, or like at the Veterans Center, things like that. So, and we started the program recently at Mabel Bassett Correctional Center, the women's prison, and most of our animals come through OK Humane or from the Oklahoma City shelter.
So why is a program like this important? Share with us what types of things happen when you pair an animal and an inmate?
Yeah, first, I didn't want to go to prison. Nobody really wants to go to prison, so unless they have to.
You just made it sound like you went to prison,
Yes,
but you meant to visit a prison, right?
Yeah, visit a prison. So anyway, so my friend, Dr. Turnwell, invited me to come down and see the program, and I was really reluctant and very hesitant to do so. But after a lot of thought and prayer, I decided to go ahead and give it a try, a venture. And I went, and once I saw it, where these animals come from shelters where nobody wants them, to often inmates who really nobody wants them often, and you match these two together, and the magic that comes out of that relationship, and they see each other in each other, that there's often not wanted, and then from that the animal becomes wanted and loved, and you see this transformation occur not only in the animal but then in the inmate as well, the person, and the changes are so profound, and then this gift is given to someone who needs a companion pet. And that's where the beauty of the program comes and the magic again happens. And it's a ripple effect that goes on, not only for the inmate, for the animal, but then in the community at large. And so it's a kind of program that's just magical, and I love it because so many are affected by it.
So they can learn a skill.
Yeah, and it is a skill. Dog training is a skill, and they also learn how to groom, and we're going to be doing that at Mabel Bassett, having a grooming center there as well. So it is a skill. When you come out, most of these people that come out have felonies, and it's hard to get work, and dog training is an area that they can go into, or dog grooming too. Yeah.
So some people might be concerned that it would be unsafe for animals.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
Have you ever had that?
I've had that question posed a lot. There have been, maybe some instances where there may have been some issue with an animal. We've never had anything serious happen. Mostly these inmates are feel so fortunate to have the animal that they just take such good care of them. They love them, and it means a great deal to have this as their companion there. Oftentimes they come to an empty cell or a place that is not welcoming. They come into a cell where there's an animal waiting for them, and it's such a bright thing. You can see it in their faces, And I produced 2 documentaries. One is called Dogs of Lexington, and I did this with OCCC with Professor Greg Malott, and the most recent one is called Basset Tales, Tales, and they're both on YouTube, and they both depict what these programs are about.
Great.
Yeah.
So tell us one quick story about how partnering a particular animal and a particular inmate really changed them.
Yeah, well, it's basically this book that my son and I wrote called Marvin Shining Star, and it's a story about a dog named Star.
It's a children's book?
Yes, it's a children's book, and it's a story about a dog named Star, which is this little crochet dog that the ladies make at Mabel Bassett, and how Star came from the Norman shelter and was trained by my friend Marvin. And what happened was Star ended up being a very good tracking dog, one of the best they'd ever seen. And a woman who had Alzheimer's drifted off her unit. They couldn't find her. They used helicopters, tracking teams, spent 10 hours, could not find this lady. And she was going to die because she had Alzheimer's and didn't have any means of taking care of herself. And so they went and got Star from the prison. Tracy Beckelheimer, the coordinator, did, who was on the sheriff's department for Paoli. And they used Star in about 20 minutes with the woman's pillowcase, found a woman in a ravine with Star. And so Star saved the woman's life and thereby, got the Hero Award for the state for her action. And then I wrote the Governor Henry a letter about what Marvin had done, what Star had done. And through that, Marvin was up for parole, and then he got paroled and was released from prison because of that. Otherwise, he had never been out of prison. So the book is a good story. We're using it a lot to talk about the prison dog program, to talk about the animals in shelters, how they can really be used to become great companion pets. And in this case, saved a woman's life, and then saved Marvin's life too. And then, so that's another thing I'm doing, is working a lot with children whose parents are incarcerated. Yeah.
So we have a few seconds left. Can you tell us how people can get more information about this program and just some of the things that they can do to get involved?
Yeah, so it's called the Friends for Folks program. We have a website that you can look it up on, friendsforfolks.org, and you can see things that we're doing with it, where you can donate money, and how you can become involved would be like helping the Oklahoma City shelter out with OK Humane, or like in Norman, helping Second Chance out, because most of our animals in Lexington come from Second Chance, where most of our animals in Mabel Bassett come from OK Humane or the Oklahoma City Animal Shelter. So by volunteering with those organizations, you can help these animals get in, good homes into the prison and get trained, and then go out and get good homes.
So can they help to volunteer directly in the prison,
by
giving a donation?
Yeah, the donation is going to be the most easiest way to do this. To volunteer in a prison, it takes training. You have to be background checked, and then you have to be supervised. Right. So it's not very easy. It's much easier to become involved with like OK Humane or Second Chance, or the shelter in general, volunteer there, where you can have a direct impact on the animals, which then go to the prison and get trained and come back and hopefully get good homes because of their training. Yeah.
Well, Dr. Otto, thank you so much for your commitment and energy to this program. Yeah. You said earlier that you had a lot of passion for it, and it comes off in your speaking and all that you're doing to make a difference, not only for homeless animals, but for people who are often forgotten and not necessarily given the time and skills that they need to be productive members of society. So thank you so much for this program and for all that you do for the sheltering community. We appreciate having you here today.
Thank you. It's an honor and privilege.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to show you some animals that are available for adoption in Oklahoma City Animal Welfare. These are animal welfare selfies, but we like to call them welfies.
dog has a thirsty look in his eye. Did you know that it's really not that hard to save water? Like here in the sink. Don't make me run too much. Could somebody shut me off? Now this is my kind of party. A full house. Let's roll. Hey, we're in a drought, which means I'm kind of a big deal. So save me. Really? Save me!
So it's time to talk about volunteers, and we're going to specifically talk about the Kids for OKC Animals program with Oklahoma City Animal Welfare. With me is Jillian. Hi, Jillian.
Hi.
She is one of the kids who helps us by being a Kid for OKC Animals, and welcome to this discussion today. We're so happy to have you. Let's start off by saying who this is.
This is Ren, and he's 2 years old. He came in as a stray, and he's looking for a really good home.
Well, you know, you volunteer on a regular basis with us. Tell me a little bit about you. How old are you? What school do you go to?
Well, I am 12 years old, and I go to OCS, Oklahoma Christian School, and I go every Saturday, and I love helping all the little dogs. I also help the big dogs too, but I usually get out the small dogs because those are my main priority.
So little dogs like him here?
Yeah.
So why are they your priority?
Because a lot of people, especially the Chihuahuas, sometimes they are pretty, they're older, and some people don't like getting older dogs, so I like to help get the older small dogs so they'll get adopted.
So what made you start volunteering?
Well, I needed something to do over the summer and during the school year. And in high school, I have to do a volunteering thing anyways, like community service. So that's kind of what made me want to do it, because I love animals. I love every single type of animal. So
how does it make you feel to be a volunteer, and specifically a kid volunteer? What would you tell other kids about being a volunteer?
I think it's really fun to do because it makes me feel really happy because I get to help give animals new homes for the rest of their life, and it makes them a lot happier because I don't like them being in a kennel their entire life, and that's not very fun for the animals, so I like giving them new homes.
So, you know, the Kids for OKC Animals program, actually we have a packet of information here that anyone interested in being part of this program can get, is a really special program because it's really amazing when a kid like yourself gives of their time to make a difference in the lives of animals and to be part of this program. What would you say to other kids about getting involved in any organization and becoming a volunteer? Why should they do that?
I would tell kids to do this because it helps earn responsibility and gives you school credit and stuff, and it's also really, really fun to do, and I would recommend doing it to a lot of people.
So as part of the Kids for OKC Animals program, there is a little pledge that we have people say. Can you repeat that pledge for us?
Okay. Number one is to work hard and give time to help all the animals at the shelter. And number two is to be kind and respectful to every single animal. Number three is to tell your experiences to others about the OKC Animal Welfare. And the last one is to complete at least one service project per year.
So you're doing a service project every time you come on Saturdays. Do you talk to the kids at school about the work that you do?
I always tell my friends about it. And they're like, I always tell them about it, and I always tell them about the exact same thing every time. So I talk about it a lot. So.
And you come in and volunteer with your mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that like?
Well, since I'm not old enough to handle them on my own, so I always help my mom go with her to help her get the big dogs out, and then I can walk them back. And my mom comes with me so I can get the little dogs out, and then I can give it to the person who's looking at it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for being part of our Kids for OKC Animals program. And if there's anybody out there who would like more information, you can actually contact us at awvolunteers@okc.gov, and we can email you or put in the mail this handy-dandy package. Right now, I'd like to turn you over to David Wagner with our wellness tip.
Well, the weather's really heating up, and here's some hot weather tips for your animal friends. First and foremost, never leave an animal unattended in a car. A car can quickly heat up, and that can be very detrimental to your animal's health. You always want to provide plenty of shade and water for any animals that you have outside, and if it's too hot outside for you, then it's really too hot outside for the animal. Bring them indoors. And if you exercise with your animal, make sure you do it early in the morning or late in the evening when it's a lot cooler. And also know the signs of your animal when they do overheat. If it looks like they're in distress, please get them to a veterinarian right away. The other thing to keep in mind is that some breeds are more susceptible to heat exhaustion than others. Dogs with pushed-in faces are especially vulnerable to overheating. And if you have a long-haired pet, you don't want to shave it all the way down to the skin. That fur actually acts as insulation, so you can do a light shave, but not completely down to the skin. And if you do see an animal in distress, please do not hesitate to call us. We will respond.
You know, I give, and it's just never enough.
Seriously?
When people take you for granted, what can you do?
Water the grass, not the street!
Using drought-tolerant plants, watering early in the morning, adding some mulch. It's not that hard.
If we want to use our water wisely, we got to squeeze more out of every drop.
SqueezeEveryDrop.com. Oh, I gotta go. I got a date with a lake.
Did you know that the arts make a significant impact on education, the economy, and our quality of life in Oklahoma? Providing more than 10,000 jobs statewide, filtering more than $314 million into our economy? Yes, the arts create all kinds of beautiful things. And making Oklahoma an even better place to live is the most beautiful thing of all. It doesn't take a big donation to make big things happen. Support Allied Arts today. A little give is all it takes.
Doesn't that feel good? We'll keep those little buggies off you.
Buying pesticides each year can add up. Bet you have leftovers.
But I never know when I might need them.
So many, something's gotta go. I know it's tough, but it's just not safe to store so many chemicals. Just take them to Oklahoma City's Household Hazardous Waste Collection Facility. They'll take care of everything. Hey, is that another bottle? Get more info at okc.gov.
If you want to adopt any of the animals that you saw on today's show, you can come down to the shelter. We're open 7 days a week, and we're open from 12 to 5:45. The address is 2811 Southeast 29th Street. Since we've been showing you some great dogs, we didn't want to end the show without showing you some of the amazing kitties that we have available for adoption at the shelter. Meet Sam and Max. Max is the guy who's making all the noise, and they really just represent so many animals that we have waiting for you to come and adopt them. This has been a really wonderful show, and we just want to remind you to love and protect your pets during the summer months. You heard about hot weather, you heard about ways to get involved, but take the time to give them a pat on the head, let them know that you love and care about them, take them to the doctor to make sure they're healthy, and keep them safe by keeping them indoors. Thank you for watching Animal Tales TV, the show about Oklahoma City animals and the people who love them. See you next month.
That's a wrap, Rumble.